Hi student, today we are going to discuss about next point, that is a reaction of a bases with the oxides of a non-metal. Means in this in this period we have to given the reaction of a bases with a non-metals, bases with oxides of a non-metals. In last period we have to take the reaction of a metals with a acid. Any metal reacted with acid to form salt and hydrogen gas is releases. So in this period we have to discuss about when bases are reacted with a non-metal, then salt and water is formed. So we have to take some examples, some reactions. First reaction, oxides of a non-metal reacted with a base to form salt and water. Base means OH minus ion. We know that any base reacted with a non-metal to form salt and water. First example, first reaction, carbon dioxide, which is a non-metal. Look at this, all the non-metals are generally in a gaseous form. Most of the non-metals are in a gaseous form. Carbon dioxide is a non-metal reacted with a metal oxide, reacted with a base. NaOH is a base. So non-metal, that is a carbon dioxide reacted with a sodium hydroxide, we get sodium carbonate and water. Sodium carbonate, which is known as a washing soda, we get the sodium carbonate and water, means salt and water. So in this reaction, any base reacted with a non-metal, we get the salt and water. For example, the first example, first reaction, carbon dioxide, which is a non-metal, carbon dioxide reacted with a base that is a NaOH, which is a strong base, sodium hydroxide. Carbon dioxide reacted with the sodium hydroxide, we get sodium carbonate and water. So this is the first chemical reaction in which carbon dioxide, which is a base, and sodium hydroxide, which is carbon dioxide, which is a non-metal, it is a non-metal, and NaOH, which is a base, non-metal reacted with a base to form sodium carbonate and water. So it is the first reaction. Second reaction we have to complete it. We have to given KOH. KOH means potassium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide reacted with a this fill in the blanks we have to be empty. We have to be filled. This fill in the blanks. Any substance reacted with any chemical substance reacted with a potassium hydroxide to form potassium carbonate and water. So in this fill in the blanks, we have to write non-metal. In this fill in the blanks, we have to write carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, which is a non-metal, reacted with the base, that is a potassium hydroxide, we get potassium carbonate, K2CO3, we get K2CO3 and water. विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, आपल्या या तासामध्ये प्रामुख्याने बेस आणि नॉन मेटल याचे रिएक्शन घ्यायच्या. कोणताही बेस नॉन मेटलशी रिएक्ट झाला तर या ठिकाणी आपल्याला सॉल्ट अँड वॉटर या ठिकाणी मिळतं. एनी बेस रिएक्टेड विथ अ नॉन मेटल वी गेट सॉल्ट अँड वॉटर. मग आपण पहिल्या दोन केमिकल रिएक्शन घेतल्या. कार्बन डायऑक्साइड विच इज अ नॉन मेटल, कार्बन डायऑक्साइड आणि NaOH which is a strong base, सोडियम हायड्रॉक्साइड. कार्बन डायऑक्साइड आणि सोडियम हायड्रॉक्साइड रिएक्ट झाली तर आपल्याला मिळणार आहे सोडियम कार्बोनेट अँड वॉटर. सेकंड रिएक्शन, कार्बन डायऑक्साइड रिएक्टेड विथ पोटॅशियम हायड्रॉक्साइड. Carbon dioxide reacted with potassium hydroxide. Carbon dioxide is a non-metal. KOH, potassium hydroxide is a base. Non-metal reacted with the base to form salt and water. We get potassium carbonate and water. Third reaction, sulfur trioxide. SO3 means sulfur trioxide, which is a non-metal. Sulfur trioxide reacted with, we get the product sodium sulfate and water. So in this fill in the blanks, we have to write the base. The base we have to write sodium hydroxide 2NaOH. विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, इथं सोडियम हायड्रॉक्साइड जर लिहिलं आपण तरच ही केमिकल रिॲक्शन व्यवस्थित येईल, बरोबर येईल. मीन्स sulfur trioxide reacted with sodium hydroxide, we get sodium sulfate and water. So these three chemical reactions are related with non-metals and base. Any non-metal reacted with the base to form salt and water. यामध्ये तीन केमिकल रिॲक्शन घेतल्यात. पहिल्या यामध्ये कार्बन डायऑक्साइड रिॲक्टेड विथ सोडियम हायड्रॉक्साइड टू फॉर्म सोडियम कार्बोनेट अँड वॉटर. सेकंड सोडियम कार्बन डायऑक्साइड reacted with potassium hydroxide, we get potassium carbonate and water. Third, sulfur trioxide reacted with sodium hydroxide, we get sodium sulfate. Na2SO4 means sodium sulfate and water. या तिन्ही केमिकल रिॲक्शन आपल्याला लिहिणे आवश्यक आहे, येणे आवश्यक आहे. मग या तिन्ही केमिकल रिॲक्शन आपल्याला काय सांगता येईल? any base reacted with a non-metal, to form salt and water. कोणताही बेस आणि नॉन मेटल एकत्र आले, केमिकल रिॲक्शन जर झाली तर त्यापासून आपल्याला प्रोडक्ट मिळणार आहे सॉल्ट अँड वॉटर हे या ठिकाणी मिळेल. तीन केमिकल रिॲक्शन घेतलेल्या आहेत. कार्बन डायऑक्साइड रिॲक्टेड विथ सोडियम हायड्रॉक्साइड, कार्बन डायऑक्साइड आणि सोडियम हायड्रॉक्साइड याची रिॲक्शन जर घेतली तर आपल्याला मिळालेला आहे सोडियम कार्बोनेट अँड वॉटर. सोडियम कार्बोनेट इज अ सॉल्ट विच इज नोन ॲज अ वॉशिंग सोडा. कपडे धुण्याचा पावडर म्हणजेच हा सोडियम कार्बोनेट आहे. दुसरं एक्झाम्पल कार्बन डायऑक्साइड रिॲक्टेड विथ पोटॅशियम हायड्रॉक्साइड, we get potassium carbonate and water. Third, sulfur trioxide reacted with sodium hydroxide, we get sodium sulfate. Na2SO4 means sodium sulfate and water. So these three chemical reactions are important. These three chemical reactions are based on any non-metal reacted with the base. Non-metal reacted with the base to form salt and water. So these three chemical reactions are repeated one or two times. Recite these chemical reactions. या chemical reactions दोनदा तीनदा लिहा म्हणजे तुमच्या लक्षात येईल. Next point, salt. Look at this. Next point we have to discuss about types of a salt. Types of salt. There are three types of salt. Number first, acidic salt. Number two, basic salt. And number three, neutral salt. Types of salt. The salt यामध्ये आपल्याला सांगते when acid and base react to form salt and water. Already you have to learn that salt is formed when the acid and base react to form salt and water. acid आणि base एकत्र आले तर त्यापासून salt हे मिळतात हे आपल्याला माहिती आहे. अशा सॉल्टचे तीन टाइप्स आहेत, acidic salt, basic salt and neutral salt. Acidic salt. An acidic salt is formed by neutralization reaction of strong acid and weak base. Strong acid and weak base पासून हा acidic salt आपल्याला मिळतो. Number 2, basic salt. Basic salt is formed by neutralization reaction between strong base and weak acid. Strong base and weak acid. There is a reaction of a strong base and weak acid. We get the basic salt. Number 3, neutral salt. When a strong neutral salt is formed by neutralization reaction of strong acid and strong base. स्ट्रॉंग ऍसिड आणि स्ट्रॉंग बेस आपल्याला मिळले की त्यापासून न्यूट्रल सॉल्ट मिळतात. सो लुक ॲट दिस ऍसिडिक सॉल्ट. ऍसिडिक सॉल्ट, when acidic salt is formed by the neutralization reaction between strong acid and weak base, we get the acidic salt. Number 2. Number second, basic salt. Basic salt is formed by neutralization reaction between strong base and weak acid. We get the basic salt. And number third, neutralization reaction. Neutralization salt is formed by strong acid and strong base. स्ट्रॉंग ऍसिड आणि स्ट्रॉंग बेस एकत्र आले तर त्यापासून न्यूट्रल सॉल्ट मिळतात. मग याचे आपण एक्झाम्पल समजून घेऊ. आपला ऍसिडिक सॉल्ट केव्हा मिळतो, बेसिक सॉल्ट केव्हा मिळतो, याचे काही एक्झाम्पल आपण घेता येईल. ऍसिडिक सॉल्ट केव्हा मिळेल आपल्याला? ऍसिडिक सॉल्ट इज फॉर्मड बाय न्यूट्रलायझेशन रिएक्शन बिटवीन स्ट्रॉंग ऍसिड अँड वीक बेस. स्ट्रॉंग ऍसिड आणि वीक बेस एकत्र आले तर त्यापासून आपल्याला ऍसिडिक सॉल्ट मिळतात. नंबर 2, बेसिक सॉल्ट. Basic salt is formed by neutralization reaction between strong base and weak acid. मग या दोन्हीचे आपण एक्झाम्पल या ठिकाणी घेऊ. फर्स्ट लुक ॲट दिस acidic salt. We get the acidic salt from strong acid and weak base. HNO3 plus NH4OH. We get NO3 plus H2O. And next basic salt we get strong acid means NaOH reacted with weak base CH3COOH. We get CH3COONA plus water. Look at this. Types of salt आपण घेतले 3. There are 3 types of salt: acidic salt, basic salt आणि neutral salt. Acidic salt केव्हा मिळतात? Acidic salt is formed by neutralization reaction between strong acid and weak base. We get the acidic salt. Example आपण घेऊ इथं HNO3. What is the name of this compound? HNO3 means nitric acid, which is a strong acid. Nitric acid reacted with a weak base NH4OH, ammonium hydroxide. We get NH4NO3, ammonium nitrate and water. So we get the acidic salt. Acidic salt is formed by the reaction between strong acid and weak base. HNO3 means nitric acid, NH4OH, ammonium hydroxide. Nitric acid reacted with ammonium hydroxide, we get ammonium nitrate and water. It is an acidic salt. Basic salt, sodium hydroxide. NaOH means sodium hydroxide. Reacted with an acidic acid CH3COOH means it is a weak acid, acidic acid. NaOH, which is a strong base. Sodium hydroxide reacted with acetic acid, we get sodium acetate, which is a basic salt. We get the basic salt. Look at this. मग यामध्ये acidic, basic आणि neutral salt कसे मिळतात पहा. Acidic salt is formed by neutralization reaction of a strong acid and weak base. Example, HNO3 plus NH4OH. We get NH4NO3 plus water. In this chemical reaction, HNO3 nitric acid, NH4OH ammonium hydroxide, we get the product ammonium nitrate and water. ammonium nitrate is a acidic salt. Then basic salt. Basic salt is formed by neutralization reaction between strong base and weak acid. Example, NaOH, which is a strong base, reacted with acetic acid, which is a weak acid. Sodium hydroxide reacted with acetic acid, we get sodium acetate and water. Then the pH of acidic salt, the pH of acidic salt less than 7. The pH of acidic salt is less than 7. The pH of basic salt greater than 7. Greater than 7. बेसिक जो सॉल्ट असेल त्याचा pH हा 7 पेक्षा जास्त असतो. The pH of acidic salt is less than 7 and the pH of neutral salt equal to 7. Equal to 7. न्यूट्रल सॉल्ट जे असेल त्याचा pH आपल्याला 7 म्हणता येईल. मग हे या ठिकाणी व्यवस्थित लक्षात ठेवा. टाइप्स ऑफ सॉल्ट, देयर आर 3 टाइप्स ऑफ सॉल्ट: acidic salt, basic salt and neutral salt. Number first, acidic salt. Acidic salt is formed by neutralization reaction between strong acid and weak base. Example, HNO3 plus NH4OH, we get ammonium nitrate and water. Number 2, basic salt. Basic salt is formed by neutralization reaction of strong base and weak acid. Strong base and weak acid. Example, sodium hydroxide reacted with acetic acid, we get sodium acetate and water. Third, neutralization reaction, neutral salt. Third आपण घेऊ आता neutral salt. Number third, neutral salt. Neutral salt is formed by neutralization reaction between strong acid and strong base. Strong acid and strong base, we get the neutral salt. न्यूट्रल सॉल्ट मिळवायचं असेल तर स्ट्रॉंग ऍसिड आणि स्ट्रॉंग बेस याची रिएक्शन आपल्याला करणं आवश्यक आहे. एक्झाम्पल, HCl reacted with NaOH, we get NaCl plus water. HCl, which is a strong acid, NaOH, which is a strong base, we get NaCl, salt and water. It is a neutral salt. Neutral salt is formed by reaction between strong acid and strong base, and the pH of neutral salt is equal to 7. Neutral salt जो असेल त्याचा pH आपल्याला 7 म्हणता येईल. So these are the 3 types of salt. मग आता यावर एक क्वेश्चन आहे, तो क्वेश्चन आपण कंप्लीट करू जो आपल्या टेक्स्ट बुक मध्ये दिलेला आहे. टाइप्स ऑफ सॉल्ट समजलेत: acidic salt, basic salt आणि neutral salt. Acidic salt is formed by neutralization reaction of a strong acid and weak base. Basic salt is formed by neutralization reaction of a weak strong base and weak acid. And number 3, neutral salt is formed by neutralization reaction between strong acid and strong base. मग या टाइप्स ऑफ सॉल्ट वर एक क्वेश्चन आहे, तो क्वेश्चन आपण सॉल्व करून घेऊ. लुक एट दिस ऑन पेज नंबर 68. On page number 68, the question is given: classify the following salt into 3 types: acidic, basic and neutral salt. दिलेले सॉल्ट जे आहेत ते ऍसिडिक, बेसिक आणि न्यूट्रल मध्ये सॉल्ट क्लासिफाय करायचे आपल्या या ठिकाणी. सो these salts are as, look at this: potassium chloride first, next ammonium nitrate, next sodium carbonate, sodium carbonate, next sodium acetate, and last आहे sodium chloride. these are the salts are classified into acidic, basic and neutral salt. हे तिन्ही सॉल्ट आपल्या ऍसिडिक, बेसिक आणि न्यूट्रल मध्ये सॉल्व करायचे, क्लासिफाय करायचे. ऍसिडिक सॉल्ट्स यामध्ये आपल्याला सांगता येईल. नंतर दुसरा आहे बेसिक सॉल्ट, सेकंड बेसिक सॉल्ट, आणि थर्ड आहे न्यूट्रल सॉल्ट. यामध्ये पाहता ऍसिडिक सॉल्ट इज अ पोटॅशियम क्लोराइड. नंतर आहे अमोनियम नायट्रेट. हे दोन्ही ऍसिडिक सॉल्ट आहे. बेसिक सॉल्ट मध्ये सोडियम कार्बोनेट, नेक्स्ट आहे सोडियम ऍसिटेट, and last neutral salt, sodium chloride. In this way we have to classify the given salt in different types: acidic salt, basic salt and neutral salt. यामध्ये आपल्याला दिलेला सॉल्ट हे तीन प्रकारामध्ये आपण क्लासिफाय केले: ऍसिडिक, बेसिक आणि न्यूट्रल सॉल्ट मध्ये.